Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to The Main Phase, a Magic the Gathering podcast aimed at bringing you the best content, period. Today we discuss the trailer for Throne of Eldraine, new expansions for the game of Magic, and the 4 new Brawl decks. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to The Main Phase, the only Magic the Gathering podcast that speaks louder than Mark Rosewater.
God, my ears.
And today I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Jeremy.
Hey, Dboe.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm real good.
So I got to catch that live stream that they did with revealing the trailer for the new set, answering some questions that people had about the new set.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, it was actually a lot of fun. The first 15 minutes was them baking cookies. not gonna lie, it was them baking cookies.
They really, in the first 15 minutes, didn't address anything about the new set or talk Magic at all.
Well, it was like a countdown for the thing to start, right? So
the countdown for the thing to start was them baking cookies?
Baking cookies.
How do you bake cookies in 15 minutes?
It was actually probably closer to 30 minutes.
So 30 minutes of baking cookies.
That's right. Now, they did have a nice little Easter egg in there.
That's wonderful. What was it?
It was the golden goose egg.
Like the new artifact from the set?
That's right.
Okay.
So
well, that's fantastic.
So for those of you who don't know,
I do like cookies.
For those of you who don't know, hopefully you do, there is a new mechanic in the set called food.
Food.
And
everybody likes food.
I know, me too.
Everybody has to have food.
Especially me.
Yeah.
And for the people who also don't know, this set is based around Arthurian legend as well as fairy tales.
Fairy tales.
So
clearly,
given the fact that we have these fairy tales, we also are going to be seeing gingerbread men.
Okay.
And so they were baking gingerbread men at the very beginning.
We haven't seen gingerbread men in the spoilers yet.
Not yet.
But they were all over that new trailer.
Oh my God. That trailer.
That trailer, 3 minutes of meme.
It's just a giant meme.
It really was. I mean, what did I just watch?
I know.
Was what happened with me, right?
And really, it's actually a necessary thing for this set.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons.
No.
One, the idea of mixing Arthurian myth and legend with fairy tales is such an absurd idea.
Okay.
Kind of need to have an absurd trailer to go with it. But on top of that as well, we just came off of a huge line of sets where the world is ending.
Right.
Right? The world is ending. Everything's going to die. Everyone's in dire turmoil. So what do we need after that? A little comic relief, a little fun, a little whimsy.
Kind of make things a little jovial again.
That's right. And I think that
I'm okay with that, I think.
I think the set kind of fits that mold.
It does.
And especially the trailer. That trailer had so many references to pop culture.
It did.
It had so many references to some of the fairy tales that they'll probably be referencing inside of the set itself.
It references the 3 Little Pigs. It references Goldilocks. It references
the Golden Goose.
The Golden Goose, right there, yeah. But also in some of the scenes and the scene choices, right? Like where they're hugging each other as the tidal wave of milk is approaching. The movie where they're standing there and it's the tidal wave's coming and the mother or the father and the daughter are hugging one another as the tidal wave ends their lives, right? They actually don't survive that. But there's a lot of action film references where, the cliffhangers and they're hanging on and they save one another only to face calamity in the end of it. But clearly spending big money on the CGI in that trailer for sure. Big money.
In my most recent article on the website, landsego.com, feel free to go check it out, you guys. One of the things that really stuck out at me was just that. With War of the Spark and now with this set, you can really tell that they're pushing a lot of marketing money into these trailers. These trailers are expensive to make.
They are.
I mean,
time consuming.
For those of you who don't know, for just 1 second of 24 to 30 frames per second on a high quality gaming machine, and obviously they're hiring this out to a production house that has render farms and things like that.
Sure.
But on just a single gaming machine, what did I say, 30-second scene?
Yeah.
That's gonna take you 6 months to render. I'm not even kidding. For the quality of image that they put out, all of the assets and artifacts that were in there, all of the lighting design, all the particle effects.
Yeah, they render it in layers.
Yeah.
Layers and layers and layers and layers.
I mean, it takes a lifetime to render this stuff out on just one machine. Obviously, they have render farms and things like that, but the fact that they have to have multiple computers rendering this thing out to get it out in a timely fashion, they have to have people do motion tracking on the actors who are like holding the swords, things like that.
Yeah, literal farms in terms of the technical capacity, but those houses, those production houses that produce the quality of videos like that were in that trailer and that level of CGI are not inexpensive.
No, they are extremely expensive.
Extremely expensive stuff.
I mean,
The bulk of the budget in Avengers goes to the CGI houses that are putting together all of the frames that you're watching.
And not to mention the all the motion capture and stuff like that within the video, but also the cookies are hand animated.
Yeah.
Those are hand animated. So not only do you have a mixture of hand animation and mocap.
Yeah.
But you also have all the particle effects. You have all of the extremely detailed environment that was in there.
Overall impression for me, very impressive. Still had that takeaway immediately after because it's such a deviation away from magic that I was like, okay.
And
right?
And during the live stream, that was kind of people's reaction. Like it was mixed. It was like, this is amazing!
I'm 12 years old!
And then there was like, where's the magic?
How am I going to pay my mortgage this month?
Like, what the
that's
heck?
the reaction. That's the mix, right?
So, I mean, I for one, I actually
better sell my Black Lotus.
I actually really enjoyed the trailer. I think it was really cute.
Me too.
Lots of meme-worthy content you can pull from that.
Cute's a good word for it. Cute.
Yeah.
It was very cute. Lots of references to iconic pop culture films. References several fairy tales throughout the course of it. A decent 3-minute trailer. Yeah. Did it build hype for me, though?
Well, one thing did.
What's that?
Garruk.
Oh, yeah, Garruk did. Yeah.
Garruk in there.
I guess I was really excited about that. And now that we've put together a spoiler video regarding Garruk, that new Garruk is
insane.
A house. It is a house. A house.
For a 0, you get two
green, black, wolf tokens. And whenever they die, you put a loyalty counter on them. Combine that with Sir Liliana.
Yep. Oh, brutal.
Combine that with Liliana, the Dreadhorde General, and if you can somehow get both of those creatures out, and you can, I'll show you how, but you get both of those planeswalkers out, pop out the wolf tokens, minus Liliana, draw 2 cards, next turn, 2 more tokens and a zombie. And it's just a constant army. It's a constant army, my friend. That gives you the ability to play cards like Bone Splinters in the main board.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the clear comparison that we have right now in Standard that's going to be rotating out.
Sure.
The 6-mana Vraska.
Yeah.
So her uptick creates a 2/2 with Menace.
Yes.
His 0 ability, which turns into an uptick on their death, creates 2. Her -3 does kill an enchantment, artifact, and creature, so it does kill more. But Garruk also kills creatures.
Yep.
And then his minus ability is kind of like, okay, sure, I think it gives whatever.
You get an emblem.
Well, no, it's not an emblem. It's like a +6/+6, and they gain trample or something like that.
No, I think you get an emblem that says creatures you control get +3/+3.
Let's look
you get an emblem with creatures you control get +3/+3 and have trample.
Okay.
Which is devastating.
Yeah.
They are 5/5 wolves.
And it's at -6, and he starts out at 5 loyalty, so with 1 death of a wolf,
Correct.
You're
there for the emblem.
Yep.
He is absolutely abusive.
Yeah.
He's abusive, and he's going to be everywhere in the Golgari deck matters, right? Thankfully, though, the big Golgari thing that's running Golgari right now is Wild Growth Walker, Jade Light Ranger, Merfolk Branchwalker, Ravenous Chupacabra.
So excited to see those.
Golgari Find Broker, Find Finality, all of those cards. Well, not all of them, but the engine, the Explore engine, bye-bye.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. And I'm happy to see that change.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
It's too long. Now Golgari as a deck, just a green-black deck, I don't know if it's going to be able to stand on its own legs immediately after rotation. In fact, Mardu Knights promises to be exceptional.
Really powerful.
Control's not going anywhere, and we'll get into my favorite card that I think is going to be the top end of the control that's been spoiled so far, eventually here. But Golgari's going to roll into Jund.
Yeah.
Right? We're losing a lot of the big dinosaurs. As soon as they give us the best dinosaurs, all the dinosaurs go away.
Yeah.
They
planned it that way.
Of course they did. Otherwise, it would have dominated the meta.
Yeah.
Had we had Marauding Raptor early, around the same time, that deck would have just run over everything forever. The meta would have crafted to beat Jund Dinos, right? It just would have happened. It's going to be interesting, though. The mana bases are certainly going to slow down.
Yeah. No, we're getting the temples.
Yeah. The mana bases are going to slow down. We're losing the buddy lands. We'll still have shocks.
Yep.
But
we're also gaining new tutorable lands that are
special ability.
Yeah, they're like special
Witch's Cottage is amazing.
It's a swamp. You can tutor it up. And it says it enters the battlefield tapped, I think. And then it says, oh no, it's untapped.
It's untapped.
When it enters, you have to control 3 swamps.
Right. And then it enters untapped. And if it does enter untapped, you can take a creature from the graveyard and put it on top of your library.
Wow.
It's obscene.
Yeah.
And it is a swamp.
Yeah, it is a swamp. So it's
you
tutorable.
can control other witches' cottages and they count towards the next witch's cottage.
Yeah. And that sounds modern playable to me, too.
You can play a land and return a creature from the top.
Or from your graveyard to the top.
From your graveyard to the top of your library.
Yeah. We're
not losing Growth Spiral. Think about Sultai.
Yeah.
Think about Yarok in that implication there, to be able to instant speed Growth Spiral, put a Witch's Cottage in on your opponent's instep, put the creature that you want to draw back on top of your library and draw it and go right back to it. Yeah. That's really what it's about. And that's kind of scary.
Yeah. And like you said with Yarok.
Yeah.
Get double the triggers.
Twice.
Yeah.
It happens twice. That is scary stuff.
Yeah, that's really good.
For all of you brewers out there, I just gave you a little golden goose. Little golden goose egg. Enjoy that. Anyway, trailer, very cool stuff. I'm pleased with it. I enjoyed it.
Also within that reveal, they did also reveal the next 4 sets.
Cookies. As cookies, right?
Of course.
They painted the icing or whatever.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So
it wasn't even poorly done. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it looks
Did
really
they
good.
eat the cookies?
They ate the gingerbread men.
But they didn't eat the actual set cookies.
No.
I'm disappointed.
I'm sure they did after the video was done.
So the reveal was a total fail. That's what I'm hearing from you. Just failure.
So the first set that's going to be coming back, or going to be starting us off in 2020, is Theros Beyond Death.
So we're going back to Theros.
And we have actually been, Lansego has been pushing this, that we're going to be going back to Theros very soon.
It was actually Matt who was the one to posit that first, to throw that out there for everybody.
Because we had a very heroic centric styles of cards that were coming out with like Feather and the 10th
Oh, it's
District
just ripe
Legionnaire.
for it, bro. It's ripe for it.
Not to mention, we may also be getting something like Devotion coming back as well, because we've got like the Cavaliers that have all the mana symbols and their mana cost.
To be fair, Devotion was really more like Journey into Nyx, Born of the Gods.
Right.
But it's
still a Theros block,
that was
right?
the Theros block. Yeah. And there was Devotion in Theros, I think. Some of the gods did Devotion. So Heliod, Perforos.
Now the big thing about this that I think everyone is super excited about is there was a art piece that was leaked a while ago that showed, maybe it wasn't even leaked, maybe it was just released, that showed Elspeth taking off a mask in what appeared to be the underworld of Theros.
Whoa.
So
Elspeth.
I think we're getting the return of Elspeth, which actually makes a lot of sense because we just lost a major white planeswalker in Gideon.
Yeah.
And so now we get to have another major white planeswalker that everybody loves.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Elspeth.
Speaking of major white planeswalkers, given the way that Throne of Eldraine appears to be going and how decks, when they slow down like they do when you lose the combination of Buddy and Shocks, there tends to be a lot more top-end bombs. And the Wanderer out of War of the Spark is probably going to be playable after rotation, at least as kind of a gotcha.
And I think even now it still is playable because there are some mechanics you can do with it. You can build your deck around it to be able to have some combo potential with it.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah,
she's great. Is it a he? It's a she.
It's a she.
It's a she. She's great. Okay, so
and then also the other thing about Theros, we're positing right now that we believe it's going to be the return of enchantments. Theros is all about enchantments, enchantment creatures.
There's got to be.
And we've
I'd
seen. I'd
love to see a reprint of Nyx Fleeced Ram.
Yeah,
I would love to see that because we got a Johnny's Pride mate, right? And Nyx Fleeced Ram seems like it fits right there, and we're losing Fountain of Renewal.
And also, if you were to look at like Cavalier of Dawn, it says whenever it dies, you can return an artifact or enchantment. You've got a lot of cards that return enchantments to your hand at the moment.
Starfield Mystic.
Starfield Mystic is a
buy your set of those right now.
Is an absolute bomb with this.
Get your set of those. Believe me, folks, get your set of those before Theros drops.
For those of you who don't remember what that card does, it's 1 and a white for a 2/2 that says enchantments and auras you cast cost 1 one less to cast. And then whenever enchantment leaves the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on Starfield Mystic. So it also works really well with like Proliferate. We've got some Proliferate mechanics right now.
Works great there.
We did build a white-black Sagas deck that was based around that. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go to landsego.com and take a look. But the whole idea is that if we're having enchantment creatures, enchantments are going to be leaving the battlefield all the time.
Yeah, it's happening.
And so that card can get huge.
Yes, it can.
So,
but we're losing Sagas.
We are losing Sagas, which hurts that ability. But who knows?
It does.
Maybe they'll actually print some Sagas in this next Throne of Eldraine
Yeah,
set.
but we know how things are, man. You know, that's one of those cards that's, you know, gonna be good later.
Yep.
That's all part of the design, right? So anyway, yeah. So Theros Beyond Death. What was the next set?
One other thing. Sorry, one other thing with Theros. They did promise that we're going to see the underworld of Theros.
Okay.
So we are going to actually be in the underworld at some point in this set. We're going to see a lot more of that.
So we're on the list.
Yep.
That's great, man.
And then
we get to bypass the line. It's good stuff.
And then the next set is Ikoria, Lair of the Behemoths.
Okay.
So the whole point about this, Mark Rosewater said, was playing big monsters. Imagine like giants and just huge threats.
Yeah, like behemoths.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, also, since it's layers, maybe we'll have a return of layers.
Hey, that'd be great. Like 3 color layers. Dramoka's lair.
That'd be cool. But then the other thing too is they said you're going to make your own big creatures.
Make your own big creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So Monstrosity's coming back.
Or maybe we'll have something that was like an unstable where you put 2 cards together to make something. Or maybe like a meld type of mechanic.
Oh man, like a big furry monster, like the BFM.
Maybe
costs 99 black mana to cast. It's a 99/99 with trample and indestructible. Oh man, I hope we're not Voltroning.
We'll find out.
I don't want to be Voltroning.
But you know, this
isn't just me. Look, dude. This isn't just me being, you know, a curmudgeon about things. I don't want Unstable to bleed into the normal card game. I don't want to be Voltroning things. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Like, that's a turnoff to me.
Well, now imagine this. Maybe it's not necessarily Voltroning. Maybe you
By our powers combined, we are giant furry monster.
Well, now, you know, like let's take Unstable for example.
Yeah.
Part of the draw of the Unstable mechanic that they had wasn't so much that you're building huge monsters. You're building interesting mechanics with one another.
Yeah, like a squirrel shark.
But the squirrel, whenever it became tapped, would create a 1/1 token,
or a zombie crab,
and the zombie would on attack to allow you to return something from the graveyard to your hand,
or a gingerbread snake.
It would just eat itself.
Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay. Listen, I'll remain optimistic about it.
No, you won't.
Sure, I will.
When the podcast is off, he's going to complain about it.
No, dude, that's a ways in the future, right? If they're releasing new standard sets every 3 months, right? That's the cadence. So we'll see Throne of Eldraine September, then we see Theros Beyond Death December, and then it'd be March for Ikoria is when we would see that one. Into March, beginning of April. For the next set there, right?
No, because remember, the next set's Throne of Eldraine.
September 26th.
Yeah.
And then December for the next one, because it's like a 90-day roll.
Yeah.
And then March, into March.
Unless they do it maybe it's in the first week of January, something like that they release it. Because these are the 2020 sets.
Oh, these are specifically the 2020 sets.
Yeah. So it might be like first week of January. Like they'll...
Right, for Theros, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, and then into April, then into July, then into September. Okay.
Yeah. That's probably what they're looking at.
All right.
But hey, probably one of the good things with the Behemoth
core set again in the summer.
Well, yeah.
Every summer, the core set.
But probably one of the good things about the Behemoth, though, the layer of Behemoths, is you get to play one of your favorite strategies.
What's that? Ramp? Yeah. Hopefully I do get to ramp. I like to ramp. Mm-hmm. Ramping's good. So anyway, what's the next set?
So the next set is going to be Core 2021.
Okay.
And this is going to be another one of those Planeswalker-centric sets, kind of like we had with the Chandra one with 2020.
Put on the brakes.
And
put on the brakes. Hold on.
Do you have a guess who's going to...
It's like War of the Spark?
No, it's like 2020.
Oh,
literally Core set...
Centric. Centric.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally Core set 2020 where they had 3 Chandras. We're going to have another one that's going to be probably have another 3 Planeswalkers around this one Planeswalker.
Did they say who the Planeswalker was?
They did.
And I get to take a stab at it?
You get to take a stab at it.
Jace.
Nope.
Jace.
Nope.
Do I like this Planeswalker?
I'm going to say no.
What Planeswalker don't... Teferi.
Yeah.
No!
He really did just guess that, guys. I didn't give him any hints.
Teferi! Yep. No way! Why?
Yep.
Why?
We just got rid of Big Teferi, and they're going to give us a Planeswalker-centric core set based around Teferi.
But why? Why? Why?
Probably because they're trying to get away from the like Jace and Nissa and them again to give us some other Planeswalkers to root for. So I'm assuming that's why they're giving us Teferi. Maybe there's not enough backstory to Teferi, so they're trying to devote the core set to it. But my guess is we're going to see another 3 Planeswalkers very similar to what we saw with Chandra. We're probably going to see that for maybe something.
I'm past the point in my life where I like playing control. I just don't like playing control. I mean, I get it. It's very effective. Oftentimes it's the most effective deck. Look at the way that Esper control has run rampant on Standard for what? God, it feels like a century now that these control decks, Azorius control, Esper control, control.
So it does make me wonder what they can do with Teferi to give him like 3 Planeswalkers like they did with Chandra. Because, I mean, if you look at the Chandras that we have, one's obviously the best, which is the 6-mana one.
Yeah.
And then the 3-mana one's still really good. Sees play.
I think they're all good. Even the uncommon's good.
Yeah.
Even the uncommon is good.
And they all have very unique abilities. Yeah. Very unique abilities. And
elemental centric.
Still very.
So what are the 3 Teferis going to do? Bounce a permanent and draw a card?
Maybe, but we already have that. You know, like.
I don't. Okay.
Maybe one of them is going to exile something that we own and return it to the battlefield.
Sure.
You know, like who knows? I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe he starts out as a red-black Planeswalker and then moves blue-white as he gets older.
So
I don't know.
Zendikar Rising. Let's move on. Oh, I don't want to talk about Core Set 21 anymore.
Actually, there is one other thing that's really important about 2021.
What's that?
There is no longer a numbered set
That was
number.
my first observation, is that the new logo there that they showcased, it was really interesting. Kind of looks like one piece of a Celtic knot. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? An infinity symbol.
Right. To me, it looked like the chaos symbol with 2 cards melding together.
Looks like an MC Escher painting in the way that it kind of folds around on itself, a staircase that constantly climbs, right? Like that kind of thing.
And so it's a non-numbered core set.
It's a non-numbered core set. It's off-putting.
Yeah.
It's jarring.
Now, Origins was a non-numbered core set.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not the first.
Was Origins a core set?
Yeah. They called it the last core set.
Right. They didn't they?
Yeah.
You know what's a really good card from Origins?
Jace.
Alhamarit's Archive.
That is a good card.
That's a good card.
It's like $30 now.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like it's like $30.
They were in the quarter bin forever too.
I know.
Nobody was playing them.
And then Commander found it.
There it is. And that Jace is still really good. Vern's Prodigy.
Yeah, extremely good. I mean, still sees play in Modern, still sees play in Legacy.
It's a dynamite card.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going back to Zendikar.
Yep, Zendikar Rising, the 4th one. Nope.
What?
Nope. So it's actually Eldrazi list this time. Rosewater said. Well, I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing because we've had Eldrazi very recently.
Okay, you're right. We did kind of just get off that train.
Yeah,
a couple years ago.
And I think it's since they've technically destroyed and then imprisoned all 3 of the Titans.
Yeah,
technically their scions should be gone.
Yeah,
based on the lore. And,
I'm okay with that.
And so now they have to rebuild their plane.
So they're rebuilding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'd be really interesting to see.
There's still going to be remnants of it.
Yeah, well, I mean...
But no creature specifically...
Maybe we'll see Waste again. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. You know, that'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that.
Get a reprint of Waste for people. You know, that'd be
maybe
cool.
They're repurposing the Hedrons for something.
Could be.
It could be that they're trying to draw power from the Hedrons, or who knows? We could wax philosophical. But if we're going back to Zendikar...
New Nahiri.
Landfall. Landfall. Yeah. That feels real good.
And actually, it makes a lot of sense that there would be landfall because we have a lot of landfall-centric cards right now.
Oh, yeah.
That are going to be nearing rotation when Zendikar Rising releases.
Landfall.
Yeah, so
that's going to be great.
We're going to be able to have them for about 3 months before it rotates.
Is it good or bad that there's no Eldrazi?
I think it's a good thing.
Why?
Well, so part of the thing with...
I love Eldrazi.
I think they're cool.
Mono Black Eldrazi was one of my favorite decks ever.
Yeah, I think they're cool, but the problem is we just had 2 Eldrazi sets, or no, excuse me, 2 Eldrazi blocks very recently because we had the Battle for Zendikar, and then we also had the Eldritch Moon and that which also had Eldrazi in it. It had Emrakul herself and turning things into Eldrazi.
That's right. It was Battle for Zendikar, Oath of the Gatewatch,
and
then Eldritch Moon.
And then
we moved into Shadows
Shadows
over Innistrad, which also had
Eldrazi.
Eldrazi. Well, flippable Eldrazi.
Yeah.
There was that one green wolf that flipped into a mana producer for waste, right? But yeah, that was a long time too.
And I think Shadows was actually first, then Eldritch.
And Thought Not Seer and Reality Smasher ran its course, like really badly ran its course, right?
And it would be really interesting to see now how, because remember all the clans used to like hate each other?
Yeah.
And they only got together because of the Eldrazi threat.
Do you remember the card Transgress the Mind?
Yeah.
God, that card, man. Look, I go back way back, right?
I mean, you go back to Alpha.
Yeah.
So.
I go way back with this game, and discard will grind you out. Thought Eraser's doing it to me right now. It is doing it to me right now. I'm tired of seeing that card on turn 2. I'm tired of it.
You can plan for it. That's why I wish they would have given us like a brainstorm. I mean, turn 1, blue mana. Turn 2, they thought Erasure, and you're like, in response, brainstorm, put my 2 best cards on top of my library.
That's right.
Like that. I don't think that'd be too overpowered.
Brainstorm and Standard?
Nah.
What could go wrong?
Nah.
That's great. Okay, so cool. Theros Beyond Death, Ikoria, Lair of the Behemoths, Core 2021, and Zendikar Rising. So the four Brawl decks that were made available to Arena. By the way, I maxed that out. I got the 6 wins.
Sweet. So
and the free uncommons.
So for those of you who haven't, go on there, check it out. Brawl is coming to Arena.
Arena is free. All of those decks are free to play right now.
And
it's all free.
The fact that Brawl's coming to Arena is actually very exciting for that format.
Yes.
It's technically a sanctioned format, but there was literally zero support for it.
What do you mean by that? Elaborate on that.
There's
people who want to play that. I'm one of them.
Well, before Arena put it on there?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have gone to a LGS and sat down and played that.
Right.
I'd have played Standard.
So the problem with Brawl is that though Jeremy and I love rotating formats, the problem with Brawl is that because it's a rotating singleton deck that you can go in and play, it's one of those things that's just like, it's too much of a hassle to build a Standard deck and then also build a Brawl deck.
Is it though?
It is. I mean, especially if you want to play both, right?
Yeah.
But now that it's on Arena, it is much easier to build a deck on Arena.
No question about it.
Than it is to actually go through your binders, find on the paper magic, and go to your LGS to play both Standard and Brawl.
I don't know. I'm pretty organized.
Well,
what the best part of going to the LGS is?
What's that?
Actually seeing people.
Well, yeah.
That's the best part about it.
But I mean, I'm still going to do that.
We missed First Friday tonight.
Well, yeah, but we're interacting with our audience, which is the best part. In any case, I still enjoy going to Standard to play Standard, right? Like my LGS to play Standard.
We should invite our audience to the next podcast.
Hey, audience, come join us for the next podcast.
You're all welcome.
You're all invited to my house.
That's
but the fact that we now have Brawl on Arena, I think, is really good, because if someone just wants to play like a sort of Commander style of game, but they don't have MTGO, they only have Arena, they can go on to Brawl and just build a deck real fast and play it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of variation there. The cool thing about Brawl on Arena is that you're going to see a lot of cards
that nobody plays. Which is, I think, is the best part about it.
Yeah.
And it's also, since it's like Commander Light, it's another way to get people introduced to that same style of play with Commander.
Yeah.
And so
Commander selections for Brawl right now are pretty limited.
Well, right now, no. There's a lot of legendaries.
They're pretty.
There's a lot of legendaries.
There is a lot. You're right. Yeah.
But in a little bit, there's going to be much fewer.
Yeah.
With rotation.
Oh, dude, we're losing. Oh man.
Yeah, we're losing 4 sets of legendaries, and Dominaria had a huge number of them.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting about this next set, Throne of Eldraine, is they did show us that there's uncommon legends again.
They did, yes. Yeah. Sir Black Guy
of the Grim, or whatever.
Sir Black Guy of the Grim. That's him.
But he's an uncommon legendary, so I think we're going to be, we're going to see another, and they did confirm that we're going to see another set that's kind of like Dominaria, where it was very legendary centric.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to flood the field with legendary creatures so people can build Brawl deck. And speaking of that, they did also print 4
Brawl decks.
Brawl pre-constructed decks.
I got a bone to pick with that, though. Okay. The cards in the Brawl deck are standard legal cards.
Yep.
But they are not printed in the set. They are only printed in the Brawl decks.
Yeah. So to me, it's very much like the buy a box promo, but spread out among 4 different decks.
To me, it's very much Money the Gathering. That's what it feels like to me, right? That's what it feels like. Now, there are cards in these Brawl decks. Perhaps the card that I am the most excited about is Shimmer Dragon. Okay.
Tell me about it.
Shimmer Dragon, it's 4 colorless, 2 blue for a 5/6 flyer. It says as long as you control 4 or more artifacts, Shimmer Dragon has hexproof.
Okay.
You can tap 2 untapped artifacts you control and draw a card. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're getting food. We're losing treasures, but we got all these food.
Yep.
Think about all the 1-drop and 2-drop artifacts.
Oh, Wishing Well?
Wishing Well. Perfect.
Oh my God. So 1 blue, enters the battlefield, scry 2, and then...
Yeah, dude. Wishing Well is like a killer card
and
for this.
Pay 4 and sacrifice it to draw 2 cards.
Yes.
For
this
1
is
blue.
like replacing Chemister's Insight.
Yeah.
Only not.
Because Chemister's Insight
Because it's still there. Right? But this is, I mean, it's
a great turn 1 play for a deck like that.
It's an insane turn 1 play. Plus, it's an artifact. It's in blue. It's a blue artifact. Colored artifacts, by the way, coming back in Throne of Eldraine.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff there. Shimmer Dragon, I think that's going to be the top end for control. Again, they have confirmed that these cards are standard legal, but not in the set.
I would like to posit it's probably the finisher for artifact control.
Okay.
Because I think there's other control cards that would be better.
That's fine. Let's go Esper with it. Let's go Esper with it, and let's talk Narset. Let's talk Teferi Time Raveler.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk Tezzeret.
Although, are we losing Tezzeret?
No.
The blue-black one?
No.
Do we still have that one?
Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge.
Okay.
He's still here with us. Let's talk that Tezzy, right? Let's talk the Golden Egg.
Are you sure we still have that Tezzeret?
I'm pretty sure. Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. Yeah, let's look him up. But anyway, the 4 Brawl decks. Have you had a chance to play them yet?
I have not, but I've watched you play them, and I've watched other people play them. They look interesting. I mean, they're not the most powerful decks out there. It definitely felt like some of them were more powerful than others, though.
Yeah, he was the buy a box promo for War of the Spark, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's outstanding. Creatures and planeswalker spells you control have affinity for artifacts.
Yeah, brutal. And then his tick up is just like nuke your opponent.
Yes, he is obnoxious. So, Shimmer Dragon, probably the top end finisher for some type of Esper control. That's where Esper switches. That's where it shifts. It shifts into
artifacts.
Warm hugs from Tezzy, right? What card are you most excited about?
So, at least among those, if we go back to the Brawl decks here, I actually really like some of these commanders that are, again, are legal in Standard, but not printed in the main set. So, like the one that I actually really like that I'm probably never going to play is the Sir Gawain, Hero of Ashvale.
Why would you never play it?
It's 6 mana to start getting to its effect, which is
too much.
It's a little too late in the curve.
Yeah.
But the fact that your equipment spells have equip 0 to a knight is fantastic. So you can play like that huge hammer that gives something +10/+10, and then play this and
Colossus
then
Hammer.
Your Colossus Hammer, and then equip it for free.
You know, Alayla's probably the only one in terms of casting cost that's standard effective.
I would say Alayla and Chulain, both of those. So Alayla, Artful Provocateur, is 1 in Esper, and it has it's a fairy, by the way. And also, important to note, new creature type, Warlock. Fairy Warlock. And it's a flying Death Touch lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. So we already have a white-blue flyers list right now.
Yeah.
Very easy to put that into Esper. And it has whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, which again, we're going back to Theros.
Right. Got it.
So whenever you cast
artifact or enchantment spell,
you get a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, that's some good observations. Just to confirm here, I am pulling up scryfall.com because I want to make sure that we do not have, as a type line, Warlocks. And it looks like there are Warlocks tracked.
But let's see, maybe from the new cards. New cards.
It is only 3 new cards. So 3 new creatures, all from Throne of Eldraine. Chittering Witch, Piper of the Swarm, and Alayla, Artful Provocateur. They have introduced Warlocks. Witches and Warlocks.
And Wizards.
So if you don't believe that this game is rooted in the arcane and they're trying to get you to love Satan, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. You're all going to hell. All of you.
So Piper of the Swarm is also a really cool card. It shows that rats are coming back. 1 in a black, 1/3. Rats you control have menace. You can pay 1 in a black tap to create a 1/1 black rat.
Yeah, but you're saying that you think that's maybe standard playable.
I think it's an against the odds standard playable.
No.
We need to see, and then also 4 tap, sacrifice 3 rats, gain control of target creature.
Dude, come on. Nah.
Rats are going to have like
not
a good thing.
Not
I don't know. We'll see. But in any case, and then the other one with Chulain, it's a 2 in Bant. So 2 green, white, blue for a 2/4 with vigilance. human druid legend. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card, then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Can you say Zendikar?
Yeah, I can say Zendikar.
So, and
landfall.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then 3 and tap, return target creature you control to its owner's hand. So it's one of those things where we have landfall, we've got
when this creature goes off, even with the badly brewed Brawl deck that they put out there for everybody to play on Arena. Yeah, I took a dig at you. I mean, even with the commons and uncommons that are out there, I could have made better decks for all of these than.
But you know what this reminds me of, though?
What's that?
So,
but they wanted to keep it balanced and fair. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. This reminds me of Vanquisher's Banner.
Yeah, Vanquisher's Banner. Yeah.
Because it's the same mana cost. However, it's a creature.
Yep.
But because it's the downfall of it being a creature versus an artifact, we have the added ability of being able to put a land onto the battlefield whenever we cast a creature.
I think we've still got Beast Whisperer, though.
Yeah, we also have Beast Whisperer. So we can play this and Beast Whisperer and combo off that way. Yeah. Right? So we've got some pretty cool stuff. And then Corvault could be interesting. It is only 5 mana to cast for a 4/4 flying. It's a dragon. He's actually
pretty good. I wish he trampled.
And it's a noble, which is an interesting creature type.
Right.
I'm not sure if we've seen noble before either.
Aren't the persistent petitioners nobles?
Maybe.
No, they're advisors. Yeah.
So I don't know if we've seen nobles before.
A dragon noble.
But it's a flying 4/4 for 5 mana. And then whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you sacrifice another permanent, which could be bad. But then whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on them and draw a card. So that also works really well with the 4 mana Vraska that's still legal.
Yeah, but Corvold is also amazing with Dreadhorde and Vision.
Yeah,
it's amazing with Dreadhorde and Vision. You're not taking the life, and you're getting a free token every turn.
Well, actually, you are taking the life.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, from Dreadhorde and Vision?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't gain the life from this. You only gain the life from Vraska.
Well, I guess I would have thought I would be dying much faster than I was then. I don't know where I was getting the life from.
But let's say you played Dreadhorde Invasion plus Vraska plus this.
Yeah.
So this enters the battlefield, you sacrifice the creature, you put a +1/+1 counter, draw a card, and then whenever it enters the battlefield, or at the beginning of your upkeep, you create another token. You can then take up your Vraska to sacrifice the token to gain a life and draw a card. And then since you've sacrificed something with Vraska, you then get to also put a +1/+1 counter on Corvold and draw a card.
Yeah.
So you're drawing 2 cards.
It's real nice.
Yeah.
That's real nice.
So there's a lot of really cool synergies you can do there.
Corvold and Garrick is outstanding, right?
Brutal. And it's on curve, too.
That is brutal, and it is on curve.
5 to 6.
Outstanding, and we'll probably see that.
And then also, Vraska to Corvold to Garrick.
Ugly. That's the heinous stuff.
Yeah.
That's the real nasty stuff right there. Okay. So, and if you do that, you can run Rhythm of the Wild. Boy, I'm just getting way ahead of myself. Just way ahead of myself.
Also, this is actually really cool, too. The Mace of the Valiant is something to maybe consider. The reason why is because whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you put a charge counter on it.
Yeah.
And it's equip 3, which is a little expensive. However, the creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on the mace.
Proliferate.
And it has vigilance.
Yeah.
So you have proliferate, you have token decks still that can just flood this thing. I mean, imagine playing that enchantment that gives the creature +X/+X for each creature you control whenever it attacks alone.
Yep.
Plus this.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it's insane. That could be some really fun stuff right on curve too.
Gonna be great.
So just some really interesting things in there.
Lots of good cards.
And then also it's pretty important to note the Rankle Master of Pranks is probably going to be a Chase Mythic.
Yeah, that'll be one of those cards that ends up potentially dominating the meta.
Yeah.
It's 4 for a 3/3 flying haste creature. And when it deals combat damage to a player, you can either have, you can choose any number of these. Each player discards a card, each player loses a life and draws a card, each player sacrifices a creature. It's nasty.
Yeah.
It's a nasty card.
And then the only other thing I wanted to mention is the new adventure mechanic.
Yeah. You like it?
I really like this.
Do you?
And it's one of those things
a lot of people have been saying it's kind of lackluster.
No,
that they're not all that impressed by it.
No, this is really, really good. The only other thing that we're still waiting for is like the rare and mythic version of this type of mechanic.
Yeah.
The fact that you have the ability of casting both sides, right? So you can cast the sorcery side or the creature side when you first cast it. If you cast the sorcery side, so let's take Embereth Shield Breaker, for example, because that's the one that's pulled up. It's 1 in red for a 2/1, or you can pay a single red for for battle display, which is a sorcery that says destroy target artifact. But when you do, you exile this card. So you exile this card, and then you can cast the creature side from exile.
Oh yeah, I'm very familiar with it. We were playing a lot of those in the Arena Brawl decks. Yeah.
So the fact that you get additional, it's like you're drawing a card.
Do you remember when we were jaw-jacking? It's got to be years ago now, and we were talking about how there were enchantment creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of complaining like I always do about everything new in Magic. And I was like, what's next? Instant creatures, sorcery creatures, and now we have instant creatures and sorcery creatures. And because there's a finite number of combinations until you start introducing new things. Like Arcane. Splice into Arcane, all these things. New types of permanents, sagas. They have to create these things in order to give combinations and to allow things like this to take place. I will say, of the adventure mechanic, the one that really has me jonesing is just a common, and it's Smitten Swordmaster.
Such a good card.
1 colorless and a black for a 2/1 human knight at sorcery speed for 1 black. You gain X life, and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights you control. And it's got lifelink.
It's got lifelink, yeah.
It's an outstanding common. Yeah, outstanding.
This is a great card. It's going to be fantastic in any knights build that you're going to be building. The other thing that's really interesting about this too, I have to read the rules text because I don't know. If you remember the split cards, this is another form of split card, right?
Yeah, it counts as both.
So it should be a sorcery creature.
It is.
So that means any tutor that tutors up instants and sorceries will be able to tutor up this creature.
That's correct.
If there's ever a tutor that tutors up just a creature, it can tutor up these instants and sorceries.
Correct. And we haven't seen any rares. One, but
there's another thing that I really am curious about is mission briefing.
Yeah, mission briefing will allow you to do this again.
So because it's technically a sorcery in your graveyard.
You put the 2/1 into play, you block up for an equitable trade, you gain 2 life, you block a 3/2, you mission briefing back the sorcery to your hand. Do it again.
Well, no, it doesn't put it to your hand. You cast it from, you can Surveil 2 with mission briefing. Even if it wasn't in your graveyard already, you can put it into your graveyard from the top of your library. Then cast an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. And it has the caveat of exiling it, but there's also already a replacement effect here of exiling this card after you cast it. You just choose this effect. It then puts Smitten Swordsmith into exile for you to then be able to cast from exile.
And then you put mission briefing on an Isokron Scepter, and then you just do it again and again and again.
But no, I mean, that's one of those things where this creature dies because you cast it from exile and it's a battlefield. It dies. It goes to your graveyard. You mission briefing it again. You cast the sorcery side. It goes back to exile. You have a potential of reanimating these spells. It's really interesting.
Remember, everybody, you can go to www.landsago.com. and join us there. We are going to get back into writing some articles. Please join us at the sideboard at Facebook. We need more activity there, and we'd love for you guys to start some conversations with us.
You can comment there.
You can comment there.
It doesn't have to be just us. You guys can actually post there as well. We really hope you guys go out there and join us. We hope that you join us over at our stream.
Twitch.tv/LandSayGo. We stream Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, starting at 9 p.m. Central Time, and those are generally good 2.5 hour streams, and we're doing that 5 nights a week.
And other than that, join us over at our Twitter, which is LandSayGo1, and follow us on YouTube. We appreciate any subscriptions over there. We're trying to put up as much content over there as we can. And once all of our stream assets get kind of more solidified, we will be starting to upload even more videos over there as well on YouTube. So again, guys, my name is Dboe.
And I'm Jeremy.
And can't do this without you. We're signing out.
See you next week.
Always got to get the last word in.
Last word.